You've felt it, haven't you? That twisting knot in your stomach when the woman you care about ignores your message, your call, your presence. Yet somehow, she always seems to have time for other men. She laughs at their jokes, replies instantly to their texts, and even gives them the kind of attention you've been starving for. And in those moments, a question echoes in your head. Why her silence for me, but her voice for them? Men rarely admit it, but being ignored by the woman they desire cuts deeper than rejection itself. Rejection is clear. It closes the door. But when she ignores you and talks to others, it plants doubt. It whispers that maybe you're not enough. Maybe they're better. Maybe she has already chosen someone else. And that's the trap, the slow poison that eats away at your confidence. But let me tell you the truth that no one dares to say out loud. When a woman ignores you, yet entertains other men, it's not always about them. It's about the image you've created in her mind. You see, attraction is not just about looks, money, or charm. It's about psychology. Women are not drawn to what is available. They're drawn to what they fear losing. And when she senses that you're waiting on her, that your attention is guaranteed, you stop being a challenge. She doesn't ignore you because you're worthless. She ignores you because, in her mind, she already owns your attention. She can afford to withhold hers because she knows you'll still be there tomorrow, next week, next month. But the guy she laughs with, the one she replies to immediately, that's the man she feels she could lose. And here's the bitter reality. You taught her how to treat you. Every time you double texted, every time you rearranged your schedule for her, every time you accepted silence and came back with more effort, you were training her mind. You weren't winning her respect. You were lowering your value. And in the world of human attraction, value is everything. Listen closely, because this is where most men stumble. They think consistency means devotion. They think persistence means strength. But to a woman's psychology, unchecked persistence feels like weakness. The men she responds to are not necessarily better looking, richer, or smarter than you. They simply embody scarcity. They don't pour themselves out endlessly. They create a sense of risk, a subtle fear that if she doesn't respond, they might vanish into someone else's world. And that fear, that uncertainty, is what keeps her attention alive. So the next time you wonder why she ignores you while giving her energy to others, don't look at them. Look at yourself. What signal have you been sending? Do you come across as a man who can walk away, or as a man who waits endlessly at her door? Because in her silence lies your greatest truth. She is testing whether your presence is earned or free. Let's go deeper, because this isn't just about texting or being ignored. It's about power. Relationships, whether we like it or not, are built on a constant balance of who values who more. When she ignores you and gives her energy to other men, she's tipping the scale against you. She's showing where her curiosity lives, where her emotional excitement is sparked, and where her attention feels most alive. Now, here's the hidden layer most men miss. Women are emotional economists. They invest their time where the emotional return feels highest. If she gives her attention to other men, it's not always about romance. It's about validation. Attention for women is like currency, and if she feels your attention is too easily available, she will seek a higher exchange rate elsewhere. That's why she can ignore your texts while laughing with another guy's, not because he's better, but because his attention feels rarer, more expensive, more rewarding. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When you chase, plead, or question her silence, you drive the value of your attention even lower. Think about it. If a man walks into a luxury store and begs to buy an item, offering everything just to have it, the item loses its prestige. Its exclusivity fades. The same principle applies to you. The more desperate you are to be seen, the less worth your attention carries in her eyes. But let me give you a perspective shift. Instead of seeing her behavior as rejection, see it as feedback. Every ignored text is a mirror reflecting how she perceives your worth. Painful? Yes. Useful? Absolutely, because it tells you where you stand and whether you're commanding respect or merely offering convenience. The men she replies to quickly aren't necessarily kinder, stronger, or more handsome. They're simply men who mastered the art of presence and distance. They know how to show interest without being consumed by it. They know how to offer attention without bleeding it endlessly. These men are not needy, they are selective. And that selectivity makes women compete for their acknowledgement. That's the game you were never told about. Now, ask yourself this. What image are you giving off right now? When she ignores you, do you react with patience or do you chase harder? Do you create space that sparks curiosity or do you suffocate her with availability? Women respect men who know their own worth, who don't beg for validation. And the irony is, the moment you stop trying so hard to earn her attention, she begins to notice the absence. She begins to wonder. She begins to fear that someone else might take the place you left open. This is where transformation begins. Not in making her jealous, not in playing childish games, but in embodying the truth that your attention is valuable, rare, and conditional. You don't hand it out freely. You don't reward disrespect with persistence. You step back, not because you don't care, but because you respect yourself more than her silence. And that shift, that reclaiming of power, is what flips the script. It forces her to see you differently. It makes her realize that ignoring you carries a cost, the cost of losing a man she might never replace. Most men never realize this. A woman ignoring you while entertaining others is not just a sign of her disinterest. It's a test of your frame. Your frame is the invisible boundary that defines how people treat you, and once it breaks, everything else crumbles. If she senses that you'll tolerate being sidelined, she will keep you there. Not out of cruelty, but because human nature always takes the path of least resistance. Think about it. If she can have your loyalty, your effort, your emotional energy without giving anything back, why would she choose to invest in you? It's not that she hates you, it's that you've removed the challenge. And without challenge, there is no growth, no respect, no attraction. A man without boundaries is like a lock without a key. Anyone can open it, but no one values what's inside. Here's where most men sabotage themselves. They notice her ignoring them, and instead of stepping back, they try harder. They shower her with compliments, check up on her constantly, or wait by their phone for her replies. And every time they do this, they reinforce the very behavior that hurts them. She ignores, they chase. She delays, they wait longer. She invests less, they invest more. And soon, she doesn't even have to ignore you. You start ignoring yourself. But let me reveal the truth that stings. Women don't want men who orbit around them like satellites. They want men who have their own gravity, their own world, their own sense of direction. When she talks to other guys while leaving you in silence, it's because those men project an energy that pulls her in. They don't beg for her time, they make her earn a place in theirs. That's the psychological gap between the man she ignores and the man she prioritizes. Now here's where the shift must happen inside you. Instead of focusing on why she's talking to them, ask yourself, why isn't she fighting to talk to me? What about my energy tells her I'll always be available? What signals have I given that lowered my value in her eyes? The answers are uncomfortable, but necessary. Because until you face them, you'll keep living the same cycle. Ignored, doubted, forgotten. The way out is not through games or manipulation. It's through boundaries. Boundaries that quietly but powerfully say, I don't chase silence. I don't reward disrespect. My attention is not free. It's earned. When a man lives by that code, he doesn't need to beg for attention. He becomes the attention. She doesn't ignore him out of boredom. She notices him out of respect, out of fear that he might turn his gaze elsewhere. And let me make this crystal clear. The moment you start living like this, her behavior will shift. The texts that used to go unanswered will suddenly get replies. The calls that used to be ignored will start being returned, not because you forced her, but because you reprogrammed how she sees you. You moved from a man she can ignore to a man she can't afford to lose. Here's the final truth you need to face. When she ignores you but talks to other men, it's not just about her behavior, it's about your identity. Because women don't simply react to what you say, they respond to the man you are. And if the man you are right now radiates insecurity, neediness, or blind devotion, she will use you as background noise while chasing the thrill of someone else. But when you become the man who respects himself above all else, everything changes. She doesn't ignore a man like that because his absence feels like a punishment. His silence speaks louder than any desperate words. His presence feels rare, and rarity creates desire. Understand this: people crave what they can't easily have, and women are no exception. If she knows she can have your attention without effort, she will stop valuing it. But if she fears losing it, she will protect it, guard it, and fight for it. Now here's the challenge most men avoid: walking away when necessary. Too many of you stay stuck in situations where you're ignored, hoping that if you just wait long enough, she'll notice your loyalty. But loyalty without respect is slavery. If she doesn't see your worth, if she continues to disrespect your time and your energy, then your silence must become permanent. Because leaving is not weakness, it's the highest form of self-respect. And when you carry yourself like that, women sense it instantly. They feel the difference between a man who waits to be chosen and a man who chooses himself. The man who waits becomes invisible. The man who chooses himself becomes magnetic. He doesn't have to compete for her attention, she competes for his. Ask yourself right now, what kind of man do you want to be? The one who spends his nights staring at his phone, waiting for a reply that never comes, or the one who has built a life so full, so strong, so powerful that her ignoring him doesn't break him, it loses her? Because in the end, it's not about why she ignores you. It's about whether you'll keep ignoring yourself. Remember this: attraction is not about chasing, it's about positioning. You position yourself as a man of value, a man with purpose, a man who doesn't crumble at silence. And when you embody that, women feel it. They may not say it, but they know it. They know this is not a man to be ignored, but a man to be respected, pursued, and cherished. So the next time she ignores you but entertains others, don't fall apart. Don't chase. Don't beg. Stand tall. Pull back. Build yourself. Let your silence speak, because the loudest message a man can ever send is the one he delivers without words. Now I want to ask you something personal. Have you ever been ignored by a woman while she gave her time to other men? And how did it make you feel? Comment your answer below, because I want to hear your story. And if this message hit you deep, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear these words today.